Okay, please welcome, while you're standing, our next presenter, Contan, who is going to tell us a little bit about, where we go, how to mine Grin. Why don't we give him a standing round of applause? Contan, where are you? And you may now take your seats.
Here you go. You got a mic? I don't know. Cool. Cool, thank you. Green, okay. Okay. So, hi everyone. So, I'm really happy to be here. My name is Quentin Saler. I'm a software developer at BlockCypher and also a Grin contributor. So, today's talk is about how to mine Grin. So, basically, you might be wondering what is primary, secondary. I'm just going back there. Okay. So what is primary, secondary? Can I CPU mine? Can I? What is a kookaroo? Can I mine with my radio on HD? Whatever, stuff like that. So in this talk, I'm going to try to answer all of these questions, and it's going to be a bit of technical talk where we'll be talking about hardware and calculation too. So we'll be talking about four things. First thing will be the proof of work. So as you might know, Grin uses two proof of work, which is like primary and secondary, and we'll talk about which one you need to choose. And after, we'll talk about the hardware, which hardware is the most profitable, and then we'll talk about software, mining software and pool software too. So which mining software you need to use based on several parameters, and which pool is the best for me. So at the end of the talk, you can ask me several questions. I think we will have time for some questions. Okay. So in terms of proof of work, so I'm not going to explain this actually. It's like just a slide stolen from Daniel. But basically, Grin used two proof of work, which are derived from the cuckoo cycle family. And why is there two proof of work? So first, we call the two proof of work, the first one, we call it the primary proof of work. And it's made to be ASIC friendly. So people can develop ASIC for that, and in the future, it will be really profitable to develop ASIC for that. Second one is the secondary proof of work, which is made to be ASIC resistant and GPU friendly. So by ASIC resistant, I mean that Grin developer will change the algorithm every 6 months to discourage any ASIC manufacturer to build an ASIC for that. So you might be wondering why are we doing this? Why is it way more complicated to do this? So the idea is that we want to have a grassroots community of GPU miners, and we also want to encourage ASIC development. But we don't want to have like a centralized ASICs company mining all the Grin at the beginning. So it's like a kind of middle ground between those two. So as I was saying, there is two proof of work which are both derived from the cuckoo cycle family. So same for that. It's like way too much details. But what we need to know is like the first proof of work, the primary, is called KUKA2 31+, and is designed for ASICs. And the second one is called the secondary proof of work, kookaroo 39. So basically, to mine on a GPU, the primary, you need right now 11 gigabytes of memory. And the secondary, you need 4 gigabytes of memory. And so the primary proof of work is like starts at 10% of the reward, and we go up to 100% of the reward in 2 years. And the secondary will decline linearly from 90% as of now to 0 in 2 years. So like that, we really encourage ASIC manufacturers to build ASICs for Grin in the future. Yeah, so basically it will look like that, meaning that in a year, by January 2020, the primary proof of work, which is like ASICs targeted, will be dominant in Grin. So you might be wondering like which proof of work I need to choose. So there is some calculation that you can do. It's actually not that hard, and but I'm just like there's a way simpler way to do that. You can just go on grin-pool.org, and there is like a what to mine calculator. So it was made by Hendrik Richter, and basically like you can see two values. You can see the graph per second with C31 and graph per second with C29. So this is like the value for 1080 Ti as of now. And you can see that when I put this value like a week ago, it was more profitable to mine with the primary proof of work. It's like a tool really useful when you want to mine. When you have a GPU capable of mining both, it's really useful to check regularly with that. Okay, so now we go to the hardware choice. So now that you know that which proof of work you can mine, what kind of memory you need, we'll see the hardware. So for the CPU, forget it. It's not possible to mine with a CPU right now. In Grin, it's a waste of time, a waste of energy. So let's go directly to GPU. So you have a lot of choice for GPU as of now. You can mine with AMD or NVIDIA. Both work, but right now, NVIDIA are way more performant. So you can see the full list of all the compatible GPU right now. So this will be online too. And the safe bet, as of now, as of today, right now, is to go for an NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti. So why? Because with this card, you can mine primary and secondary proof of work, and so you can adapt to the market, and you can always choose the most profitable proof of work in Grin. Pros and cons, yes, you can mine both proof of work, maybe higher resale value, can play quizzes in 4K too, 60 FPS. Con is expensive, and when ASICs are out, it will mean that ASICs for the primary proof of work are available. You will not be able to mine the primary and make money too. It will not be profitable. So ASICs, really like a new section actually. So we are really lucky to have two manufacturers working on ASICs in the public as of now. The first one is Obelisk, maybe in the room, I don't know. So they announced their ASICs for October 2019, and it's so it will do 100 graph per second on Cuckoo 31st, which is equivalent to 50 2080 Ti. So it's really an improvement in terms of watt, graph per watt, let's say. And which is really cool is that a percentage of the profit goes to the Grin Development Fund, which you might know is really important for us. So, and the second ASICs, which was announced, is by Innosilicon. So I have very little details on that. So if Innosilicon is in the room and can give us any detail, because we don't have any specs right now. But it was announced like 3 days ago. Okay, so now that you know a bit about the different hardware choice that you have, we'll see the software. But before going deep into the software that you can use, I just want to speak about the fair mining license. So any derived miner that charges a developer fee for mining a fair coin, world with no pre-mine or other form of developer compensation, shall offer to share half the fee revenue with the current developers, which kind of makes sense, because if you are making money developing a miner and you are making money on someone people are working for free, giving back is normal. So it's like really important for us to develop an healthy ecosystem, especially like with Grin, where there is no ICO and no founder reward. So yeah. So there is like two types of software right now. There is a good software. There is like the open source and and the one that give back to the Grin Development Fund. So there is Grin Miner, which is like the reference implementation, and there is a Grincon Miner, which is also open source and give back half the fee to the fund. And there is also Grin Pro, which is like the pro version of the Grincon Miner. And there is also KB Miner, which is included in MinerBib, which is a Linux mining operating system. And the last one, which was as of yesterday in the last category, is bminer. So bminer just made a donation to the Grin Fund, and so they will be giving half the fee to the Grin Dev Fund. And the last category of miner is the bad mining software. So as of now, it's gminer. So gminer doesn't give anything back to the fund. So going into details. So we did a lot of benchmarking on all the miners. So to be clear, this is not up to date. This is like 4 days old, which is like a year in crypto. Because like there is like three new updates for bminer and Grin Pro and gminer, but it's still a good reference, let's say. So remember that I said that the 2080 Ti was a good bet, and you can see that the graph per watt for 2080 Ti is still good. But you can also see that card like 1060 or P106, which is like the 1060 for without display output, is still super efficient too. So you might want to consider, if you have a big mining farm and you want to you might want to optimize your graph per watt. So you might want to do those tests. This is for Kukaru 29, which is the GPU proof of work. And then for Kuka 231, so there is only one miner right now, which is like the reference Grin miner. So the best one as of now is the 2080 Ti. But you will see that the value computed here is like you have to adjust them based on the type of card. So you may see that when you are mining with your mining software, you see that the hash rate that you see, for example, in bminer, you see, let's say, 37 graph per second, and you will see on the pool side, it's way lower than that. So we have seen like several times that mining software are kind of overestimating their hash rates. So I'm just giving you a simple formula to compute your hash rate by yourself. You just take the pool difficulty, you take the number of valid share you submitted in the last hour, you multiply by 42, and you divide by the last hour in the case. It will give you your hash rate, your effective hash rate, based on the number of valid share you submitted. And there is another parameter, which is called fidelity. Fidelity is a probability for a solver to find a 42 cycle. So this value is dependent on the mining software. So like the three values that you can see here is for Grin miner, the reference implementation. So basically, when you are mining Kuka 29, the hash rate that you see is most likely the hash rate that you get, but not for Kuka 31, because you can see that it's like almost 30% less on RTX. So let's say like 2080 Ti, you will get 30% less than you see. So we did a lot of tests to see, to try to compute the fidelity. So like not me, but like one of the members of the community did a test to compute the fidelity of other miners. So we found out that most of the time, like bminer, gminer are like 20% over what you get. So for example, if you mine at 20 GPS, you will get 16, something like that. Okay, and the pool choice. So right now you have a lot of mining pool, which is great too, like for really like a recent coin. You have F2 pool, Luxor, Grin pool, Grin mint, and the choice is really clear. No, I'm kidding. So I'm not going to tell you which pool you should use. I'm just going to make like to explain the situation as of now. So for example, for Cookaoo 29, you see like F2 pool and Spark pool are really, really big. And BTC.com is getting bigger too. And for Cookaoo 31, it's even worse. That's today, this morning. F2 pool is really, really strong too, and Spark pool too. So what I can say is like, choose a fair pool, meaning that choose a pool that gives back to the Grin Development Fund. Just like the software, choose a pool like, for example, green-pool.org will give back funds to the Grin Development Fund. The same for Grin Mint, we are giving back some of the fee to the Grin Development Fund. And also, choose a pool with less than 50% of the hash rate, please. This makes sense, but it's not obvious for everyone, apparently. And so the first one, Mimble Green Pool, apparently is, they stopped the development as of yesterday. Yeah, so I think there is one last question that miners ask themselves when they are mining. It's like, wait, there is no address in Grin, how can I get paid? So right now, like pool and exchange are like really like trying to develop something. So right now, you can deposit and exchange files with direct file or email the file. You can withdraw with Keybase, HTTP, HTTPS, or Wallet 713 in the future, maybe more. And yeah, so we are reaching the conclusion here. So as I was saying, yeah, there is two parts. There is a pool proof of work choice, hardware choice, software choice, and pool choice. What is really hard for me to tell you right now, or which proof of work and hardware choice are the best in the future. I can tell you that to choose a fair mining software to give back to the Grin Development Fund, and to choose a fair pool in order to maximize your investment, like in Grin. Thank you. Yeah, question, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I think is that
Thank you. The mining pools that have 20 or 30 or 40%, how many rigs are they running? So how many rigs are running Cockaroo and Cockatoo 29 and 31?
Okay, like so you can do an estimation on how many GPUs are running right now on the network.
Yeah.
So if you take like the, let's say 2080, which makes like 7 graphs per second, you can divide 1.5 million graphs per second by 7, and you will have the number of GPU, which will be 2080, which is one of the most efficient GPU. So maybe more than that, actually.
I say, so how many 2080 equivalents, I guess, but roughly how many GPUs are running, if you could give me a ballpark?
It's like 1.5 million divided by 7.
Oh, five, okay, so 700,000. Wow. Also, the whole fair mining thing, doesn't that sort of ignore capital expense? That, yeah, as a software developer, yes, you often have work with a partner that distributes, and you get 15 or 20% back if you're a software developer, traditionally in the shrink wrap world. Asking the distributor basically to give you 50% back means they both go out of business, which is why VisiCalc died.
So you mean like on the mining software part?
Yeah, on the fair mining thing, that if you have a company, you want to give them 50% back to your software developers, no company can survive doing that, certainly before they pay back their CapEx.
So I think we are not really hard like with 50% value, actually. Like if you are giving back one of your revenue with like what you can with the Grin Development Fund, it's okay.
It said 50% is what you expect.
Yeah, so you want to comment?
Yeah, you're
So the idea is that the Grin developers have put way more resources into developing Grin than the miner developers have put into developing their miner software. So it seems fair to share the miner fee proceeds 50-50.
Yes, after all expenses have been subtracted in the long run. but I'm not sure how long it's going to take them to spin out initially. At least this is tradition of 50 years of software development.
Okay. Any other question?
Are we good? Thank you. Thank you, Kontan. All right. Woo.